Hi everyone, welcome to the Bourbon Obsessed Bourbon and Distillery News Podcast, your commercial-free and therefore money-free bourbon podcast for Monday, November 10th. Wow. I am Ed, and this week my usual co-host Dean is on assignment, so I'm joined by my knowledgeable wife and amazing chocolate chip cookie baker, Kirin. Kirin, how are you doing today?
Pretty good. Thank
Good.
you.
Have you done anything exciting this week in the bourbon world?
Well, we had our volunteer party for the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. That was fun.
Oh,
I baked a lot of cookies for that.
And they were very popular. I still keep getting messages about them all day. Yeah.
It was good to see everybody again. And then we did a Four Roses Heritage Tour on Wednesday. That was really fun with Brent Elliott. And then...
The master distiller.
Was it a dinner this week at Vernay's?
Yeah.
Then we did a Woodford dinner at Vernay's in Louisville. That was really fun, and the food was fantastic, along with the whiskey. So yeah.
And Elizabeth McCall
was
master distiller, led that.
Yeah,
So
it was good.
Yeah, no, a lot of good bourbon events this week. And,
yeah, I'm tired.
Huh? You can nap after this
okay.
invigorating podcast.
I might have to.
All right, you ready to start?
Let's do it.
Okay. So I think a lot of people have heard this story, but we sort of have to mention it because we're not remiss. We had mentioned it actually on at the end of our. Actually, we don't have to mention this story because we mentioned it in the last podcast, so we'll skip it.
Oh.
Unless you want to talk about it.
Yeah, just recap it. Now people are curious what you were going to talk about.
Okay.
So.
Yes. All right. Good point. So I forgot because I had left it out of my newsletter, but Dean and I did talk about it last week or at the last news episode. Anyway, but Kirin, who's the owner of Four Roses, has reportedly put them up for sale. The asking price is supposed to be $1 billion, and Kirin is working with the UBS Group on the sale. And that was initially reported by the Financial Times last week, but since then, nobody's really confirmed anything, and there's been no follow-up stories. So, I mean, it was interesting because when we were... What was that?
Well, I did a little digging, and so the Fox News station reported the story, but they got their story from their affiliate, the Louisville Business First, that they were advised, Kirin was advised to sell Four Roses just because of the market, and then focus on, what was it, healthcare?
And pharmaceuticals.
And UBS is an international investment company in Switzerland. They have a ton of different branches over there. They've been around a while. But, yeah, so they were supposed to change their direction. Or that's what they're being advised to do. Huh. So, I mean...
Who said that? Because
UBS.
UBS did? Because they had...
UBS is advising them...
But UBS made the statement to the public?
According to the report I read, so Business First reports Kirin was advised by UBS, an international investment bank, to sell Four Roses and focus more on adding healthcare companies to its portfolio. Reports said initial bids are expected next month. So.
Well, that was all. Most of that was part of that original story.
Yeah, but I mean, I felt like it wasn't Kirin going out to do it. They've been advised. You know what I mean? They're being advised to.
Well, supposedly they're not going to focus on beer either, which is surprising.
Right. So interesting. I guess we'll see what happens.
Right, but then Brent had told us there had been a number of times that Four Roses has put out. Or Kirin has put out feelers for buyers, and nothing's really come from it.
Well,
so
this could definitely happen. So, I mean, that could definitely be the same case. So.
Yeah. So we don't know. I mean,
I just thought it was interesting.
We'll have to see. And I mean, you'd think there would be a formal announcement if it's actually up for sale, not all this sort of hearsay kind of thing.
Yeah.
Seems sort of weird. All right. So moving on to our next story. Green River Distilling Company has launched its new Salute to Service program, offering free personalized labels for the holiday season. Fans can visit greenriverwhiskey.com/army to create custom labels celebrating someone special. Labels can be affixed to bottles of Green River Army 250th Anniversary Bourbon or any other 750 milliliter expression of Green River Kentucky Straight Whiskey. Labels are available online through year's end, and beginning November 3rd, which was already this past week, customers can have their labels printed at Green River's Owensboro Distillery or at its Whiskey Row tasting room in Louisville. So you can just stop in. There's no advance purchase or registration necessary.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, and you love that Army
Yeah, I thought it was very good.
250th anniversary release, right?
Yeah, which it was made with a different mash bill, which I don't think we ever found out the full story about.
Yeah. It's still on the shelf. I still see it around.
Yeah, it was supposed to be around for a year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
For the year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very good. We need to pick up another. I don't think we ever picked up another bottle of it. So
no, I think that's on.
We need to do it.
I think that's on the list.
Okay.
But it's nice to be able to do the labels.
Yeah, we can get a label made for ours if we pick one up.
Well, but you really fall into that category.
What category?
The Army category.
Well, no, it says someone special.
Well, yeah. Okay. All right. You getting it for Nick?
Sure. Nick is our dog. All right. On that note, DISCUS, the Distilled Spirits Council of the United States, expressed encouragement over recent trade agreements, urging the administration to build on this progress by securing a return to zero tariffs on distilled spirits across all markets, most notably with our key trading partners, including the European Union and the UK. But the agreements that they're talking about are these new agreements, which were announced on October 26th, where Cambodia will immediately eliminate its 35% tariff on U.S. spirits, while Malaysia committed to phase out its spirits tariff over 9 years, eliminating its discriminatory tariff on distilled spirits, and finalize a definition for spirits-based ready-to-drink products by the end of 2028. Negotiations with Vietnam and Thailand will continue. I mean, interesting, you don't usually hear about these countries.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to put that in perspective. So for reference, in 2024, U.S. spirits exports were $114,000 to Cambodia, $3.7 million to Malaysia, and $1.2 million to Vietnam, and $3 million to Thailand. And their overall market size in those countries, Thailand's surprising, is $5.9 billion in Thailand for is their spirits market, $885 million in Vietnam, $752 million in Malaysia, and $312 million in Cambodia. And there are a lot of other things included in those trade agreements, not just spirits.
There was a number of things. Well, it's good. The distilleries need that outlet.
Yeah.
So it was surprising to me how much actually goes out over there, but it's good. It's good for especially Kentucky distilleries to be able to enter those markets once again at a reasonable rate.
Well, I wonder what they drink.
9 years seems like a long time to phase it out.
Yeah, which one was that? That was Malaysia.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the opportunity for growth in Thailand.
Yeah.
I mean, we're 3 million in exports to that country.
Yep.
And their market is 5.9 billion. I mean, that seems like a very I don't know what they're drinking in Thailand, frankly, but
or where it's coming from. Where is it coming from?
I don't know. Elsewhere in Asia?
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, either way, I mean that's a market that be nice to get more of a share of, for sure.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So here's one of our weekly bankruptcy discussions. So 5280 Distilling, a Colorado-based craft producer founded in 2017, has filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy liquidation. The petition was made on October 14 in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the District of Colorado, listing assets between $100,000 and $1 and $1 million, and liabilities between $1 million and $10 million. The Littleton Distillery produced vodka, gin, and whiskey and operated a tasting room. Its website and social media pages have since been taken down, and that's true because I was trying to find out more about them, and I can't. The closure comes amid a contraction in Colorado's craft spirits sector. Per the American Craft Spirits Association, which we spoke about in our last news episode, the state's craft distillery count fell 31% from 119 distilleries in August 2024 to 82 in August 2025. And if you remember, there were some differences in how they were doing the counting between their different year assessments. So the number some of that number change may account for difference in their way of doing things. Okay. But still, that's a drop.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. I was reading a little bit about them because I hadn't heard of them. They were in Littleton.
Yeah.
But they had opened their tasting room in 2018. So they'd been around for a while. But they missed, according, and I maybe this came from their bankruptcy filing, they had missed their last rent payment. The last payment was made in July of this year. And you know what their rent was a month?
How much?
$20,000.
A month?
A month. And I was like, well, no wonder you got some problems. Yeah. And their sales were not enough, like even the past 3 years, to just cover the rent. It didn't look like, but that's what the report was saying. I mean, that was their liquidation report. I was like, wow. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, that's a problem for any kind of business in any of these high rent areas.
Yeah.
Well, you don't see too many distilleries in.
But you can't just be in any area. You have to be in probably an industrial area somewhere where you can distill things that go up in flames.
I guess, or storage is usually the.
Well, I suppose,
big issue. But
anyway, I thought that was pretty shocking. So, yeah, if you're paying $20,000 a month in rent, you need to do something different.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's unfortunate for those guys, considering they'd been around for a few years. But
yeah, and certainly, I mean, those rules vary from place to place. Where you can distill, where you can store, all the different regulations. So, I mean, I'm not familiar with Colorado's or Littleton's. I mean, it can just vary town to town.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I guess Littleton's a pretty high rent area these days.
Yeah, I mean, we used to live there, so, I mean, we used to live in Denver area. Yeah, I would say that there could be areas that were...
Well, I'm sure. I mean, the whole
expensive.
Cost of everything in Colorado had gone up for years, and I'm sure that hasn't changed. No. But, yeah, we don't have a good perspective on this. I guess when we visit for distilleries in the future, we'll ask how much they pay in monthly rent.
Yeah, I was like...
Because I don't know if that's where that stands. I mean, if you have a big industrial space and you rent your big storage space for barrels, I guess never really thought about what their rents would be, but it seems like it should be pretty high.
Yep. I guess it depends on the space. Although we've seen some very small craft distilleries that make pretty amazing use of, their little I don't call them, I can't think of the word I wanted to use, but they're like those aluminum warehouse type buildings. They really pack it all in. So, yeah. Well.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
One more down the drain, unfortunately.
But these numbers are so high, and you said you weren't familiar with 5280, but I mean, I think I could name a handful of Colorado craft distillers. And there were 119, so...
I know. Had you heard of them?
I'd seen the name. I didn't know much about them.
I had not seen the name, so...
I just remembered it because of the way its spelling is a little unusual. It's a 52 number, and then 80 is spelled out in letters.
Yeah.
So, all right. So now we've got lots of financials for this month because everybody released their quarterly results. No, it's always interesting. And we're not going into them in particularly large detail, and we are sticking to pretty much how they relate to the whiskey sales of these companies.
Yeah.
So, and we're not even doing them all. So we'll just start with MGP, so one of the bigger ones.
Yep.
So they reported mixed third quarter 2025 results with continued softness in brown goods and strength in their premium plus and ingredient businesses, which I'm pretty sure was similar to how the half-year report was. This premium plus category had been doing well. Consolidated sales fell 19% to $130.9 million, and net income declined 35% to $15.4 million. Adjusted EBIT, I don't know if you pronounce this or say the letters,
Yeah.
but the EBITDA dropped 29% to $32.3 million. The branded spirits segment sales decreased 3% to $60.7 million, while premium plus brands grew 3%, led by Penelope Bourbon. Distilling Solutions, and that's what does their contract distilling and sales, was hardest hit, with sales down 43% to $40.9 million, and gross profit falling 50% as customers paused whiskey orders amid elevated inventories. Their ingredient solutions, which we don't tend to talk about much in the whiskey world, but that's the other part of the company, rose 9% to $29.3 million, but margins slipped due to higher costs and production inefficiencies. Also of note, operating expenses were mixed year over year. Advertising and promotion expenses fell 31% to $6.7 million, reflecting MGP's focus on its most promising growth opportunities. However, selling, general, and administrative expenses increased 10% to $18.9 million from $17.2 million, largely due to executive transition costs, professional service fees related to goodwill impairment, restructuring and severance expenses, and business acquisition costs and other one-time charges. But I know you read this as well. It just always, so it sounds pretty dismal except for the Premium Plus segment for them. But they write this so upbeat and enthusiastically, like things are great, but it's yet another quarter of like markedly declining sales.
It's tough out there.
It's very tough out there.
Yeah, it's very tough out there. The market has taken a turn for certainly spirits, not just probably, well, I don't know about the other spirits, but I mean, people are drinking less. So, this is part of the result, I guess.
Wow.
But
I mean,
Penelope's doing well.
Yeah, Penelope was the high point of their last
So it's not
report.
all doom and gloom, but certainly, yeah. And it sounds like they need to get their conscientious costs in line. And, like they've spent more fees and stuff for things that have cost them.
I think a bunch of that money of those increased administrative expenses and things, I think, went to executive payoffs and stuff for the people that transitioned and things like that. So they were a lot of one-time fees.
Okay.
I thought it was interesting, though, how their promotion expenses fell 31%.
Yes.
I mean, so they're definitely cutting costs there.
Yes. Yeah.
But, I mean, it's interesting, though. I mean, if your sales are going down, don't you want to promote it more, not less? Because the competition's tougher out there.
Yeah.
But, I think like a lot of the other brands, like Campari's next that we're going to talk about, I mean, they're focusing more on Penelope. So I suppose they're just not promoting their other brands all that much. And just to refresh, I mean, that they have major brands. So all the Lux Row brands are part of them, Limestone Branch, MGP's own brands, which are Remus is their bourbon, amongst other things. So they have a lot else out there that are not small brands, in addition to the Penelope line. But it seems like it's Penelope that's mainly keeping them afloat. So I guess that's what they're going to focus on in the future.
Yep.
So
probably rightfully so.
Yeah. So Penelope was, well, I mean, we don't have to talk about that whole acquisition of that, but I mean, it made good sense, and it's at the time, and it's definitely
it's serving them
paying off. Yeah,
serving them well now, for sure.
So,
yeah.
All right. So moving on to Campari. So Campari Group delivered organic net sales growth of 1.5% for the 9 months. The thing that makes these difficult to compare is all these places report differently. So this is being reporting for the 9 months, not the quarter. So delivered organic net sales growth of 1.5% for the 9 months ended September 30th, 2025, with the Americas region increasing roughly 1%, although the United States part of the Americas region was down 2%, although it was trending positively in the last two, in quarter 2 and quarter 3. So it was mainly quarter 1 that dragged it way down. And the House of Whiskey and Rum segment, which is 14% of the total Campari Group sales, grew 5%, which is that would be a promising thing.
Yeah, but that's all the organic side, correct?
No, that just refers to organic from a financial term, not organic as in using organic corn. So that's all whiskey and rum sales.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm confused. Okay, I got you.
So that this is for accounting term, not agricultural term. So regarding American whiskey, Wild Turkey recorded a strong growth in quarter three of 14%, benefiting from stock availability and encouraging results of a new ad campaign, and in South Korea and China off a small base. Russell's Reserve grew in the U.S. and South Korea in quarter three. Other whiskey, which, as we mentioned before, includes Wilderness Trail, which, if everybody recalls, was purchased for a total amount of around $600 million just a couple of years ago, had a flat performance. Of note, American whiskey is down close to 1% over the first 9 months in spite of the positive trend in quarter three. So they've sort of mixed their 9-month and quarterly results together to highlight that 14% growth of Wild Turkey in quarter three, but that doesn't reflect the actual whole 9 months. So across its sales portfolio, the company reported improved profitability driven by cost savings and margin gains, while still navigating headwinds from tariffs and inventory alignment.
Yeah. Well, so they've only paid $480 so far million for Wilderness Trail. The other 120 is due in 2031. It was a 10-year complete buyout. So they haven't finished.
Is that contingent on anything?
No, not that I looked it up again. I didn't read any more about that had changed. But what I thought was interesting, so Turkey's sales recorded growth, right? Mm-hmm. They've been advertising, and I think we saw some of that online, and I don't know if they did.
Well, we talked about it on
yeah,
the podcast.
But I had seen some of the commercials online, and I'm sure it was different in different parts of the country and even the
well,
world.
They sort of follow Jimmy Russell from his beginning to
But they
now.
did none of that for Wilderness Trail. Those same type of commercials or advertisement, are you kidding, would be great for Wilderness Trail. And they've just kicked the can, the bottle for those guys, which is unfortunate because they make great whiskey, and we'd like to see them do well.
Yeah, I mean, we've been a fan of theirs from the beginning, and we've known Pat and Shane since the beginning. But
I don't understand why they wouldn't...
because they've been ignoring it. I mean, the fact it's been in that other whiskey category, which we point out, I mean, it's not even named. It's just like in there. And the thing is, Campari's big. So 600 million's not all that much to them. And, you know, if you're not doing huge sales, they don't seem to care. And just like...
But they have to help you do huge sales.
Well, but I think it's sort of the same story we're seeing, and we're going to see it again when we talk about more financials down there.
That's like dereliction of duty. I mean, you're just ignoring them.
I think, you know, they're all doing the same thing. They're picking their biggest sellers.
Their
and
winners.
And you know, it's self-perpetuating, obviously self-fulfilling prophecy. You take your ones that are doing well and you throw more money at them to make them do even better. And since you're trying to cut costs, you don't throw any money at the other ones. And I mean, unfortunately, I think Wilderness Trail's days are numbered in Campari's portfolio. I wonder what will happen. I mean, because it's not meant. I mean, it's not even mentioned. It's only mentioned in like the 100 pages of document is like in an asterisk where they say that it's under the other whiskey category, and I think, you know, that's a little depressing. So so it's sad, and I don't know what Campari's plan was for Wilderness Trail in the beginning. If they just bought it for the inventory, they didn't care about the name, and they just bought it for the inventory, and they bought it for the increased production capacity, and that could have been it, and they never intended on supporting the brand itself. I don't know, but you know, I mean, it still goes to festivals and things, so
it's not going away.
But
I don't believe anytime.
I don't know. It's
not going to go away.
Well, we're just seeing these big companies that bought American distilleries and brands, gradually letting them go or neglecting them. They're not alone. I mean, it's, we saw Balcones shut down until next June and things like that. It's every one of these big foreign companies is doing the exact same thing. So, yeah, it's depressing, but hopefully, I don't know. I guess we will see, and we do not know what goes on behind Campari's closed doors. Yeah. Although we know some of it because we have this next news story, which is not good for Campari. Yeah. So, Italian tax police have seized 1.29 billion euros, that's $1.5 billion worth of shares in Campari Group held by its controlling shareholder, Lagfin SCA, amid allegations of tax evasion. The seizure, ordered by prosecutors in Monza, involves approximately 17% of Campari's ordinary shares, equal to nearly one-sixth of the company's market value, and follows an investigation into 5.3 billion euros in undeclared capital gains and unpaid exit taxes linked to Lagfin's 2019 relocation from Italy to Luxembourg. The seizure was reported at the end of October. So Lagfin is owned by the Garavoglia family, and they've denied any wrongdoing and maintain that the seldom do these stories actually mention that people
what we're talking about.
do claim responsibility for the wrongdoing, but anyway, has denied any wrongdoing and maintains that the precautionary seizure will not affect its control of Campari, as it still holds over 80% of voting rights. Campari chairman Luca Garavoglia is among those under investigation for alleged fraudulent tax returns. Campari stated it is not involved in the case and that neither it nor its subsidiaries are under investigation. According to Lagfin SCA, the company has as its main corporate purpose in holding a controlling stake in Campari Group. So I guess while Campari's not technically responsible, it basically is, because that Lagfin only exists to own Campari shares. Analysts from Equita and Banca Akros noted the possibility that Lagfin may sell shares to cover a potential tax bill, creating an overhang on the stock. Similar past cases have ended in settlements with Italian authorities, which could reduce payments to 25 to 40% of the claimed amount, according to Mediobanca. Campari shares dropped as much as 5% following the news. Yeah. Not surprisingly.
Nope.
So, what do you think of that?
Well, it amazes me that this happened. So the exit happened in 2019, and 2025, they're like, oh, hey, by the way, you forgot to pay all that money. No, we don't owe any money.
Well, someone may have just realized it.
Yeah, that is, well, I'm sure corporate tax returns are insane, but yeah.
So, so the take-home message is if you
Italy's sticking it to them right now.
Well, of course. They apparently didn't want a gigantic company to change its headquarters.
Yeah.
So, and again, I'm not familiar with these exit feeds. I assume they're not the only country with them.
I had read, though, they had, and it also had to do with that they absorbed another company. It wasn't just the relocation, but they had absorbed another company. Mm-hmm. So part of those were the exit taxes for that. So it sounds like it was actually really complicated, as tax issues can be, but that's a lot of dough.
Yeah, that's
a lot of lira.
Big.
Or not lira anymore, obviously. Right?
Euros.
Yeah. So
I don't know Campari's total market capitalization is huge.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But still, it can't be good to have to.
No, 17% ordinary shares. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's not insignificant, really.
Do we actually know what Well, we know what they seized. We don't actually know what the tax bill is.
No.
So.
We do not.
All right. So.
That is probably being batted across the table. You with this? No, I don't.
All right, moving on. So, Garrett County Distilling hadn't been in the news for a while, but now it is again. Yeah. So, according to the Lexington Herald Leader, the Kentucky Distillers Association, the KDA, has filed a motion in Garrett County Circuit Court seeking to collect nearly $94,000 in unpaid membership dues and service fees from Garrett County Distilling, which has been in receivership since April 2025. The KDA claims the company, which joined as a proof member and was added to the Kentucky Bourbon Trail last year, failed to pay invoices totaling $93,865. Garrett County Distilling, which opened in January 24 and billed itself as Kentucky's largest all-new independent distillery, shut down amid financial distress, facing $2.2 million in liens and a lawsuit. Lender Trust Bank claims it is owed $26 million. The court has since allowed all creditor claims to be consolidated, with proceeds from a future sale to go towards debts and unpaid taxes. A hearing on the KDA's motion is scheduled for November 7, 2025, which was, Friday?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I was curious as to how you can accumulate $94,000 in fees in 2 years. Because they didn't become a member until December 2022.
Well, because their fees have, I don't remember if it's a flat amount, but it's based on the amount of your production.
It's based on the barrels you have.
Yeah.
So they're, like Heritage, I looked it up. So like a Heritage member is a one-time fee of $75,000 to join, plus 10 cents per barrel with a minimum of $50,000. So that's bean, that's turkey, that's, those. Wilderness Trail would have that now. Mm-hmm. The proof member is a barrel inventory of 10 to 25,000 barrels. It didn't say what the one-time fee would be, but
I thought I saw it somewhere. I read all their membership materials once. Because I was a little surprised at that per barrel fee because it adds up.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, even for craft, which is 1,000 to 5,000 barrels, it's $5,000.
Yeah.
So it's not insignificant. So I was surprised. So they must have quite a few.
Well, we know they have
barrels.
They do have. It was 20,000. I mean,
was it that many? I didn't remember.
That was a pretty good number.
Yeah.
They have a fairly large barrel inventory.
So
that's not the things they distilled. They distilled for 2 months, so there's probably not all that much, but it's all pre-existing, sourced.
But that's a lot of money
for that
organization. Yeah.
Well, and I think
it's a lot of money for a new business too, right? I mean,
I feel like the KDA is just sort of going through the motions here because they're not going to get that.
Well, get in line is what I was thinking.
Well, they're in line
behind
much bigger creditors. I mean,
they're
they owe $26 million to the bank. I don't think they're all that concerned about paying off the dues for a distillery that no longer exists. But I'm no lawyer, and I mean Dean was. I guess he would have had something to say.
He might have had something to say.
I'll ask him when he gets back.
All
right. Moving on. Heritage Distilling Company, a subsidiary of Heritage Distilling Holding Company, which is a DBA doing business as IP Strategy, and it's actually listed on the NASDAQ, will close all 5 of its tasting rooms in Washington and Oregon and move to contract production effective December 31st, 2025. The restructuring is expected to cut annual operating expenses by over $5 million while reducing revenue by about $3 million. The company will focus on direct-to-consumer sales, wholesale growth, and its tribal beverage network partnerships with Native American tribes. Employees will receive severance packages and extended health coverage through the transition. We've talked about this distillery, or it's at least been in my newsletter, and I think we've talked about it, because it's very unique in that it had announced a whole cryptocurrency policy earlier this year, and it will accept Bitcoin and Dogecoin, I'm not actually sure that's how you pronounce that, as forms of payments for its products and services via its direct-to-consumer e-commerce platform. And it also allows the company to acquire and hold cryptocurrencies as a strategic asset. The company recently created a digital asset treasury focused on the Story, I don't know how to pronounce this either, $IP token. It currently holds $53.2 million $53.2 million of those tokens, and recently established a validator program, making it the largest validator for activities on the Story $IP protocol. The $IP token powers Story Protocol's blockchain-based IP ecosystem, enabling secure registration, licensing, and monetization of intellectual property using smart contracts. So this distillery has always been a bit of an enigma to me in the first place, because it seems like it's way more of a financial company. And when they put out press releases, it has that all the financial company disclaimers on it about forward, looking projects, and past performance doesn't ensure future returns and all that kind of stuff. Like no other distilleries press releases ever say that. And so, while they're decreasing, well, basically eliminating, a large portion of their whiskey-related business, they have totally gone all in on this cryptocurrency.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't read any of that. I only learned that from your, news here. When I was reading why they, decided to close, none of that information came up. What I did learn is they went public last November, so they've they've been publicly traded for a year.
Which I think is more the cryptocurrency part of it, not the distillery part of it.
Yeah, which I thought was weird from a small distillery. I mean, they've been around since 2011, but they're not a heritage distillery by any means. But what I did learn was the taxes and that was one of the big reasons. Washington has made it very difficult for spirits companies to make money.
Yeah, well, they made it difficult for consumers to purchase. Like I talked about it.
I know.
I couldn't bring myself to pay the
20%.
Yeah, it's
on a
insane.
Bottle. So I think what did I read? A bottle of Tito's was, or a liter of Tito's. This was just the example, was $23, but after taxes it was like $31. I was like, are you kidding me? That is nuts. So this is the way the state decided to raise money after the spirits went from privatization or from control to privatization. So this is how they raised the money. But the interesting thing is it sounded like the company was going to try to take care of their employees. They were going to keep them on through the end of the year.
Yeah.
They were going to have a severance package. They were going to try to they were going to continue to provide health insurance. And so that's they were going to get paid for accrued sick time.
Yeah.
So that's,
and they're telling them way ahead of time. I mean, how many companies have we seen that
that's
just
what they said.
Close their doors. I mean,
they didn't want to just put a note on the door. People show up on January 2nd and go, "Hey, what's going on?"
So kudos to them. I mean, because so often employees are not treated well in these situations.
So I thought that was they're doing a solid. Unfortunately, they feel like they can do better with direct to consumer and with these other deals that they're doing. So,
well, I think, I mean, it certainly sounds to me like they're saying their main thing is going to be this whole story cryptocurrency thing, which is really pretty interesting. I mean, as usual, I went down the whole rabbit hole of that. I mean, it's basically allows, tokens to be assigned to parts of intellectual property. So making it easier to, get money off of your share. Like if you write one part of a software program, it gets the token attached to it. And then
who gets the token?
Well, it just stores in the cryptocurrency world or gets its value. I don't know the specifics of all of this.
Yeah.
But it's sort of interesting. So then if someone uses your piece of software and some other piece of software, that's like it's almost like, your share of it will continue along. Or you can get paid based on your contribution, which I guess would be more difficult in the world these days.
You're in whiskey.
Well, no, I think. Well, one of the guys' backgrounds is all in the cryptocurrency, so I think they've been two businesses from the start. They stand out in my mind because when we've talked about them in the past, this cryptocurrency part always comes up, and so how many distilleries do you see that in? So
that would be zero.
Yeah, so
that would be zero.
They are very, very unique.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll see.
Yeah, keep an eye on that one.
It's definitely a lot of interesting stuff. But then they also stood out because they have like this contract with a bunch of the Native American casinos. I mean, there's a lot of, they've been in the news for a lot of things. They're a very interesting company. But anyway, good luck to them, and we will see what happens. All right, next on to another quarterly report. So Molson Coors Beverage Company reported consolidated net sales of $2.97 billion, down 2.3% year over year. Underlying income before taxes was $426 million, down 11.9%. The company posted a net loss of
not $2.
$2.93 billion, primarily due to $3.65 billion goodwill impairment. In the whiskey segment, Blue Run Spirits recorded a full impairment charge of $75.3 million after a review found lower than expected current and future sales, driven by a challenging environment for full-strength spirits. The company determined the carrying value of the Blue Run brand exceeded its fair value, leading to the write-down, which was measured using a discounted cash flow approach. It has been reported that Molson Coors paid $78 million for a 75% stake in Blue Run back in August 2023. And like a good chunk of that $78 million was in outright cash.
$65 million of it was in cash. Yeah.
So, what do you think?
I think whoever's in charge of Molson Coors needs to have their head examined. Okay, this whole goodwill thing. So now I was like learning about accounting.
Yeah, so was I.
So goodwill, according to our friends at AI, is a premium paid for based on name, reputation, customer base, and other unquantifiable strengths. So,
Well, any inherent value in a brand that's not quantifiable.
But I mean, So
if they have like $2 million in assets and you pay another $75 million for their name.
But you're paying for a brand that had nothing.
Yes, it was an unusual.
They had nothing. Maybe they had barrels, and maybe they had some good barrels. Did they have $78 million worth of barrels? No. They didn't have a distillery. They had no other assets.
Well, apparently they had $3 million worth of actual tangible things, because that's the write-off is now, what did we say, 75
God, are you kidding?
million.
Yeah, like nuts. That's nuts.
Well, that was basically paid for the success that they had during their early year or two, which, as we all know, was during COVID.
They released
during incredible buying. They had a very good social media presence and incredibly good marketing. Their first 3 releases were all 13 to 14-year-old Bartons that just cleaned up at the San Francisco World Spirits competition, and then their sales just took off. And then they started selling 4-year-old whiskeys that were fine, but they were selling them at
for over
very high prices, and all based on being a premium brand, but having the wins with that Barton. Well, we assume it's Barton. It was never said where those older whiskeys came from. So, they bought them based on that, and I think they bought them because they wanted some of their founders to wind up being part of Coors. And Mike, blanking on Mike's last name, but
Montgomery.
Mike Montgomery. Didn't he become vice president for all
their
of Coors
spirits,
whiskey,
well, their spirits division,
which features their own brands, the Five Trails and the Barman Bourbon. So, which also, not unlike Wilderness Trail, they're not mentioned in this report either anywhere. Yeah. So I don't know. I'd say this doesn't bode well for Molson Coors' whiskey segment. It's obviously
they wanted to get into this. They wanted to, from what I was reading, they wanted to increase their spirits division, right? They wanted to get into spirits to broaden their portfolio, and they thought that was a great opportunity to do that. And we have Quicken, and Quicken never lies. But their releases, so we bought one of the Blue Run 13s.
We bought a lot of Blue Run.
Well, we did not. We bought some Blue Run, but we did buy the 13, and that was in...
the 13.5 single barrel.
Where are we at? That was in January of 21.
And the 14. We have all those old ones.
Okay. I'm just pointing out one or two here.
Okay.
Because quick does lie. So that was January of 21. So they were putting out that was when the aged whiskey hit the market, because it was, I think they announced it in October of 20 is when it came out. So what, 2 years, 3 years later, and the ship had already sailed by that point, really, because bottles were already sitting on the shelf because they were so expensive, and they weren't really aged whiskey any longer. Not that it wasn't good drinking whiskey, it's just overpriced for what it was. I mean, if you go on Sealbox,
It still is priced quite
if
high.
you go on Sealbox right now, I mean, the average, they have like 3 pages of bottles, and the average bottle is at least like $140. There's a couple under 100, but not many. So that's a lot of pricey whiskey.
And since then, they've released some things that are
Yeah.
older.
I mean, now
but,
it's
but,
come down, but they've had to come down.
Yeah, but
You had no choice.
they're still fairly expensive for their
Yeah.
age and everything. Because we talked about, they had a recent release that we had talked about like 2 months ago. I don't remember if it was you or Dean.
Well, I don't think it was me.
But
Well, and they've changed their,
those prices were fairly high.
changed their labeling and updated their packaging and stuff, and so they're still in the game. It's just that it's crazy that a company that's been around a long time would invest that kind of money on such short-term gains. Like, it had no history. It had 2 years of sales,
Well,
which could not have been significant in the spirits industry.
But remember the news back then. That's not how they were talking. I mean, they were the wonder child. So, because just that they had.
I feel like they got taken for a ride. I mean, that's what it seems like to me. That's just my opinion.
Well, regardless, though, they're now completely devalued it.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, what this basically says is that the $75.3 million out of the $78 million that they paid for it, they've decided is leaving $3 million. So basically, they're saying that all that money that they spent was for something that really has a value closer to $3 million.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. Kind of gut-wrenching, really.
So anyway, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, like I said, to me that doesn't seem like it bodes well, because remember, I mean, there's the whole distillery complex that was supposed to happen in Georgetown, and none of that appeared.
No.
So, I don't know. I suspect Coors' whiskey division will not be around in a little while, but that's just my guess.
There's a good chance for that, but we don't know that for sure.
If I was a betting man. But before our last economic disaster story, we can talk briefly about something good. So this is the latest from Milam & Green. It's their Provisions. It's a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys, and I will know more of these specifics when I actually write up my review. But the price is very reasonable. I thought it was like $35 or something like that, and it's a 80 proof. So it's completely different than what Milam & Green has released up to now, which have all been over 100 proof and significantly more expensive. So it's entering like a whole new area for
market
them.
for them. Yeah, good
and
for them.
I think it's meant for, cocktails and obviously people that would want a lower proof spirit.
A good introductory.
Well, I mean, drinking it's got an awful lot to it for 80 proof. I mean, part of that's, we know the Texas climate gives a lot more body and richer flavors to younger and lower proof whiskeys, and it's totally done that here. I mean, there's a lot of flavor here. I mean, I don't know if I had to guess the proof. I knew the proof when I tasted it, so it'd be hard to do. And no, I mean, I'm not getting like a ton of alcohol off of it, so I guess if I had to guess, I would have put it in the lower range. But from a flavor profile, it's got plenty of body and plenty of flavor. Some nice fruit, some like sweet apples and sweet corn, which isn't a fruit, I don't think, and a little bit of citrus to counteract that. But it's very good.
Excellent.
Actually, and so if people are looking for a lower proof whiskey that's still got quite a bit to it. I think that's probably a good one to give a try.
Awesome. When it's new, came out recently?
Yeah, I think it got first unveiled at the Bourbon Festival.
Okay.
The KBF,
So
Kentucky
September.
Bourbon Festival, beginning of September.
All right.
So
Cool.
get some, so exciting. All right, so our last story, according to, again, the Lexington Herald Leader has been doing an awful lot of reporting on these financial bourbon issues. But so according to the Lexington Herald Leader, Luca Mariano Distillery in Danville, Kentucky, plans to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy by November 14, following its property owner LMD Holdings, which has been in bankruptcy protection since July 2025. And if you'll remember, we had talked about that at the time, and they filed for bankruptcy the same day that they announced the grand opening of their distillery, which was...
That was the holding company, though.
Right.
They did, yeah.
So the distillery and the holding company are separate, but the holding company announced the bankruptcy
property
protection.
owner.
Yeah. Then.
Weird.
Yeah. Attorneys told the court that both entities contemplate a sale process within 120 days of the filing and intend to hire David Baker of Aurora Management Partners as chief restructuring officer. The company's owner, Francesco Viola, had previously stated that he would reopen the distillery. LMD Holdings lists debts exceeding $33 million, including significant claims from Summit Bridge Farm Credit and multiple contractors. The distillery remains closed, and more than 6,000 barrels of bourbon stored on the property are listed among its assets. So this was just been a very weird story. So for people that aren't familiar with Luca Mariano, they originally had contract distilled at Wilderness Trail since the beginning. And they have been in business for...
And that's how he started his brand.
Yeah.
Right.
And they've been in business for quite a while. And then they just very recently built the distillery. And
Well, I wouldn't say recently. I mean, it had
pretty
been...
recently.
It took forever for it to get built.
Yeah.
I mean, they had bought
It
the
did.
land.
Yeah,
they
it
had an
took
old
years.
house. It took a long time for the...
So all that
complete.
was happening. And then, so I mean, sort of a complete change of business plan from the contract distilling. I don't know how much of that was influenced by the Campari purchase of Wilderness Trail, and maybe they wouldn't be allowed to have their contract continue.
I think they got dumped.
Yeah, I think there was something like that as well.
I think they got dumped.
So very interesting. I mean, I guess that will be the end. Now, I mean, the big question is who's buying all these things? Because Garrett County's which is a brand spanking new gigantic distillery.
And those aren't really that far from each other, right? I mean,
no, they're not that
it's
far.
like one county over, and
yeah, I mean, it's not more than half an hour, probably.
No, it's not very far at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy to do all that work and not have it go the right way.
Well, and then to lose an established brand,
I know.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's much more to this.
Well, it also seems to me that even if you did lose your contract, there were plenty of other companies where you could
nowadays you could go anywhere
and then probably get a great price.
Well, I'm sure you would be getting a much lower well, no, when did when they made their deal with Wilderness Trail, not that we have any idea what that deal was, it was back when it cost much less to do that.
Wilderness Trail, when did they get bought? 22? They got bought in 22.
Yeah.
The end of 22. So
But I mean, look at Mariana. I'm pretty sure their whiskey goes back at least 6 years there at this point. So they made arrangements with Wilderness Trail before COVID drove prices through the roof. So they probably had a pretty good deal. But certainly nowadays we know that you can get very good deals because everybody's looking for people to... Well, I mean, look at MGP, for example.
Yep.
And, all right. So I guess that about does it for this episode.
That's it. Let's have some better news in a couple weeks.
I hope you've enjoyed this edition of the Bourbon Obsessed Bourbon and Distillery News Podcast, your commercial-free and therefore money-free bourbon podcast. Please be sure to join us next Monday for our new Bourbon Releases News Podcast. And even though we thought those would quiet down, I'm sure we're still going to have a lot to talk about. It's interesting. You get all these bankruptcies and bad financial statements, yet there's just an incredible amount of new releases.
Do you want to mention the Ronald McDonald thing?
Yeah, we
Let's
can mention that. So, the Ronald McDonald House of the Bluegrass, which is not far from us. Actually, I walk by it all the time. Did it this morning.
It's on the UK campus. So.
They're having a fundraising raffle, which is really pretty good. The winner gets to participate in a Maker's Mark private selection barrel experience, which is really cool if you haven't done one, which I suspect most people haven't. But it's a lot of fun. And the winner will also then receive 75 bottles from the barrel of bourbon that was crafted.
Yeah.
And there's more than one. So the grand prize winner gets all that. And then there are, I think, 3 or 4 other winners, and they get varying degrees of bottles.
Right.
Yeah, like the second prize gets 25 bottles, but they don't get to go on the experience unless the grand prize winner invites them to go on the experience. So... Anyway, so you can go to the, actually I don't have the website right here.
Yeah.
It's the, well, if you just go to the Ronald McDonald House of the Bluegrass website, you can follow the links to get there.
But the tickets are only $25.
Yeah.
The raffle ends, I think, next Friday. So you should get on that. And the Ronald McDonald House provides... overnight stays for parents whose children are in, like, the children's hospital there next.
It's a good cause.
Some people may not know, but it is a great cause. So it helps run that house for the families and provide support. So get out and buy some tickets. We're gonna buy a couple tickets.
Yes, we are. So also, be sure to like and follow us at your preferred podcast provider so that you don't miss an episode. And don't forget to tell all your friends too. You can also head over to bourbonobsessed.com to check out some of our over 350 bourbon reviews, which is probably getting closer to 400 at this point, and over 50 distillery write-ups. While you are there, you can also sign up to have my newsletters delivered directly to your inbox. Finally, I can be found on Instagram at bourbon_obsessed and on Facebook at Bourbon Obsessed, and would love for you to follow me there as well. Karen, where can they find you?
Nowhere.
Okay.
I am not on social media for the public.
So if you want
but you
to
can
contact...
always get to me through Bourbon Obsessed.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.